Another win streak going on, baby. Welcome back, everybody, to the First and 49ers podcast. I'm Cole McMahon, and the Niners are coming off a fantastic win just a couple hours ago versus the Browns, versus Shedeur Sanders. You know, the weather was not looking good leading up to this game. It was snowing in Cleveland, lots of wind going on over there, and then it was basically perfect weather for the 49ers in this win, in this victory, something that I was very concerned about, something that we've talked about a lot going into this week against the Browns. Is Brock Purdy is not good in the elements. He's not good when it rains. He's not good when it snows. And Brock Purdy, he was good today. He stepped it up. He turned things around from what he did last week with the 3 interceptions. This week, he didn't have any of those. He looked like the Brock Purdy we know. He executed the game plan. He didn't make any dumb decisions. And now the 49ers are 9-4 this season with huge playoff implications that have happened today. And this is the first time the 49ers have beat the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland in 41 years, which is a crazy stat to think about. That is 1984 was the last time the 49ers beat the Browns in Cleveland. The last time the Niners played him, it was 2023. We lost because Jake Moody missed a game-winning field goal. PJ Walker absolutely ripped the Niners apart. I had the stats. I don't think I have them anymore. But he had like 300 yards passing against the Niners, and that's what made me feel like going into this Browns game, I was like, this might not be a good game for the 49ers. This could potentially be a trap game, especially if it was going to be raining, if it was going to be snowing. And I did see this as a trap game for the 49ers, especially against the Jim Schwartz defense. Shanahan, I think he coached with Jim Schwartz before is what it is. And Schwartz has just had Kyle Shanahan's number for a number of years now. And it wasn't like that today. The Niners won 26-8, putting up 26 points, 3 touchdowns on the day, 2 field goals, and only allowing the Browns to score 8 points on them, which is just a whole different topic of how outstanding this defense has been the past 2 weeks. And it has been good. And it has been great. The weather was not a problem. I'm excited. The 49ers have finally gotten on a win streak as well. It's been a long time since the 49ers have strung together 3 straight wins. They beat the Cardinals, Brock Purdy's return. This is Brock Purdy's 3rd game back. Beat the Cardinals, destroyed them. He looked great. Second week, Monday Night Football against the Panthers. Brock Purdy did not look too great at all. He was aggressive, but every single interception he should have had 5 interceptions in that game. 3 of them got caught, and each one he just held the ball on a little too long. The ball was a little bit behind the receiver. In this game, they still won that game too. Thank you to the defense, and thank you to Christian McCaffrey being Christian McCaffrey. But then this game, Brock Purdy kind of settled in again, and it was nice that there was no weather elements that really affected him. It was a dry game for the Niners. It was a windy one, but it was a good one. So that is one of the biggest things I feel like about this game. The biggest storyline is Brock Purdy. How is he going to be able to bounce back? All the people started to creep up again. Quarterback controversy. Hopefully, we don't hear any of that the rest of the season. Brock Purdy has won his 3rd straight game back from his toe injury, and it didn't look like his toe injury has affected him at all this game. He was able to escape the pocket multiple times, using his legs for a couple first downs. He looked great. There was this one play, I think, towards the end of the game. It was an incomplete pass, but he threw it to the end zone to Juwan Jennings. But it was classic Brock Purdy, moving his legs, escaping the pocket. What would have been a sack probably if Mac Jones was in there. He escaped, bounced backwards, rolled out to his left side, made a throw to Juwan Jennings in the left side of the end zone. It was incomplete pass, but it was classic Brock Purdy that we got to see right there. And I was excited to see that. Brock Purdy does not look like he's been hindered whatsoever. Purdy, I mean, the stat line doesn't show how great he was. Just looking at him, not great, but just looking at him through your own eyes, it's like he looked like normal Brock Purdy for the most part. The offense did struggle a little bit to begin the game. Purdy was only 16 for 29, so that's less than 50% of his passes completed. But he had the 1 touchdown pass to Juwan Jennings, which was a good throw. Threw for 168 yards, and had the 1 rushing touchdown. And that one is going to be talked about probably the entire week long. In the third quarter, the fourth quarter, and the Dougie. Brock Purdy hit the Dougie after scoring that touchdown. It was a great play call. It was a read option, handoff to Christian McCaffrey up the gut. He decided to take it himself, roll out and score on the left side for a touchdown. And he hit that Dougie, and George Kittle was absolutely stunned seeing that. I was stunned seeing that. Brock Purdy's got some motion. He's got some moves. George Kittle at the end of the game, I don't know if you guys saw, but he's like, man, God forbid a white boy have motion. And Brock Purdy said at the beginning of the week that he was going to pull that move out if he scored a touchdown. And Shanahan even said it too. He's like, he had a lot of pressure on him if he was going to whip that thing out. And Brock Purdy, man, he's got some good dance moves. And yeah, he's back, baby. He's back, and it was good to see him do that. The stat line didn't show how good he was, but he definitely ramped it up at the end of the second quarter, and that's where things started clicking for Brock Purdy for sure. He wasn't looking too great at the beginning of the game, but it was the drive before halftime that really got Purdy in a rhythm. The 49ers at that point, I think it was seven. I can't remember. Shoot, it was like 7-8. I think the Niners were down 7-8 because I think that's when the Browns scored a touchdown and they went for 2. So that's when they had 39 seconds left. The 49ers 39 seconds left. And David Lombardi noted too that this drive was going into the wind and the 49ers were up tempo. Brock Purdy was hitting his pass after pass after pass in the wind. He was hitting his guys in stride, hitting his guys on the numbers. And the last couple seconds of that drive, he made that great pass to George Kittle on the outside, left side of the sideline. Kittle just made an absolutely fantastic catch. Kittle needs to get the ball more often, but he made the catch with 4 seconds left, and the 49ers kicked a field goal. The doinkster, Matt Gay, with a doink field goal, 25-yard field goal, and you think, okay, he's got to hit it just right in the middle. It doinked in. It was a hard doink, too. Into the uprights, and luckily for the Niners, that really turned things around for that offense. And I really saw Brock Purdy click there on that drive. So I think that was really the biggest drive for Brock Purdy in this game, to really finally get in that rhythm, to really, set aside what you did last week with the 3 picks and say, yep, all right, I'm back. I got the motion again. And the 49ers were back, and they were up 10-8, and they did not look back after that at halftime. And the Browns ultimately got the ball back after the half and everything. But George Kittle, man, 4 receptions, 67 yards receiving, 6'7". Not going to go there with that joke. We got Rich in the Instagram chat. It was a good game for Brock for sure. But yeah, it was a good game for Brock. He bounced back in this game for sure. And just in time for, the 49ers bye week. And it's a great send-off for the 49ers bye week. But Brock Purdy, he looked smart with the ball. He was accurate with the ball, and he didn't try to do too much. And that's Brock Purdy's game when he's best. Obviously, the Browns team isn't a great team, but I was nervous. I thought the Niners were going to win, but I thought it was going to be a lot closer. I projected them to win 17-13, I believe. And it was not that, luckily. It was a game where I could literally just sit back, relax, and watch the 49ers destroy this Browns team that is not very good. Shedeur Sanders, not very good. I thought there were some good things I saw from Shedeur, but he, like I've seen the past couple games he's played in, he held the ball a lot too long. Just didn't make too many dumb decisions, I would say. I don't think he didn't get picked off in this game, but the 49ers, as the most part, they played complementary football. The 49ers, all phases of this game, they played complementary football. And that brings me to the third phase of the game, which we've talked about all season long. And this part of the team that has gradually got better and then just automatically exploded, I feel like, the past 3 wins the 49ers have had. And that is special teams. They continue to boost this team. And the 49ers, you could say the special teams actually helped the 49ers win this game. Sky Moore has continuously gotten going for the 49ers. He had on the 49ers second drive of the game, before their second drive, 66-yard punt return. He looks mighty fast. I thought he was going to break one and score in this game, but I feel like he keeps losing juice towards the end of his runs, and he had a 66-yarder. He had the 98-yarder, I think, was that last week or against the it was against the Cardinals. He had the 98-yarder. Sky Moore is so close for breaking one for a touchdown. My hot take, I don't know if you could say if it's a hot take, but he's going to break one for a touchdown this season. Sky Moore, this special teams has looked tremendously better, and I was very critical of it at the beginning of the season with Brant Boyer. They weren't looking great. They weren't making great tackles, and the Sky Moore trade is looking a lot better now than it was at the beginning when the 49ers got him. When the Niners first got him, I wasn't critical about the trade. I was like, okay, he could potentially help us in the kick return and the punt return game. Didn't really see anything happen for the first couple weeks. And then boom, he finally has hit his stride. And this special teams unit now, you could say, is a strength for the 49ers, which you couldn't say the past few seasons for them. And it is a good sight to see because they're making tackles. Sky Moore is making plays out there. We didn't see anything from Brian Robinson today on kick returns, but Sky Moore is boosting this team for punt returns, and I am excited to see it. And that 66-yard punt return boosted the 49ers to set up the 18-yard touchdown, excuse me, for Christian McCaffrey on that second drive of the game. And that's when the Niners offense wasn't really getting going. And they scored their first touchdown because of Sky Moore. Great field position. And we've consistently gotten good field position because of Sky Moore, the way he's been able to attack the middle of the field. Larry Krueger actually interviewed him a couple weeks ago. I was listening to his show. I don't even know if he interviewed him or if he was just talking to him, but he was saying, Sky Moore, man, like you just get the ball and you just run right into those defenders. You run right up the field. You're not scared to get hit and everything. He said, no, man. Like I'm willing to take those hits, and it's paying off for him because he's breaking loose for the Niners, and he's sneaking through. And by the end of the season, I can almost guarantee you he's going to score a touchdown on a punt return for special teams. And you know what? If it happens in the playoffs, I would be so happy because the Niners playoffs, special teams and playoffs have not been good historically for them when it comes to, getting the returns. Obviously in 2021 against the Packers, they did some good things defensively on special teams, but I'm talking about primarily having the ball. So Sky Moore is consistently a guy that I've been excited to see produced for the 49ers and has been good, the special teams unit. And then later in the fourth quarter, the muff punt by the Browns, Darrell Luter Jr. came up with the ball, and I thought he was going to score, but then he all of a sudden just went right down. I was like, why didn't you score? I don't know if he was scared to fumble the ball or something like that, or maybe he just slipped, but I thought it was going to be a scoop and score for them. But things like that, capitalizing on balls that are muffed. And the 49ers did that in this game. And the special teams, once again, got the 49ers offense in great field position. I think the Niners were at the 16-yard line at that point. And that put the game away for the 49ers because I think the drive before the Niners, they stalled. I think they punted on that drive. Or obviously they punted because that's how they got the ball back. And then they got the muff punt. And then they set up the Jawan Jennings touchdown, putting them up 23-8 in the fourth quarter, finishing out this game for the 49ers, which was fantastic to see. Special teams unit, I'm very proud of them, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do the rest of this season. Moving forward, the 49ers defense, they have been bending to the max. They don't even have any. Curtis Robinson, I thought, was going to be out the rest of the game. Luckily, he came back in. Nick Barton out with a concussion. He didn't come back into the game. But this defense has been bending but not breaking. I mean, they only allowed the Browns to put up 8 points, which is what they should have done because this Browns offense is pretty doo-doo. And last week they only gave up 9 points against the Panthers. What happened today in that game? I don't know if you guys saw Rams versus the Panthers. The Panthers put up 31 points and upset the Rams. I think if you're a Niners fan, that makes you feel really good. We only allowed 9 points on Monday Night Football to the Panthers, and all of a sudden they come back the next week and put up 31 points against definitely the number one team in the NFC right now, which is the Rams, and they upset them, and their defense looked great. They shut the Rams down. I think Stafford threw 2 picks back-to-back, and then to end the game, they strip sack Matt Stafford and to win 31-28. Man, that makes you feel really good. The defense only allowed 8 points in this game, and a lot has to do with Clelin Ferrell, man. That's one of the biggest signings. The 49ers signed him, right? We didn't trade for him. That was Keion White. That's like the only trade we made. Keion White. Clelin Ferrell, welcome back to the 49ers. He's looked good since he's been back with the 49ers. I think the past 3 games, he's had 4 sacks. He had 1 sack last week, the only sack for the Niners defense against the Panthers. This week, 2 sacks, 2 big sacks on Shedeur Sanders, and 2 out of the 3 sacks in this game. Keion White actually had 1 sack in this game as well. And it was a hard-hitting sack, too, because I think the play before, he missed a tackle, and I think the Browns got a first down. And after that, he pummeled the guy. No, actually, I think that was That was actually a run play, but he did get a sack in the game. I'm getting my plays all mixed up. I'm too excited about how this game went. But Clelin Ferrell has been a great addition for this 49ers team. And I kind of forgot about it. I was talking to my dad after the game. Ferrell was a first rounder, I think. He was in that same draft with Nick Bosa, got drafted by the Raiders, and he's living back up to that potential again. He's living back up to what he looked like when he was on the Niners in, what was it, 2023? Farrell, fantastic addition with the absence of Nick Bosa on this defense. So kudos to him as well. 2 sacks on the day. This defense, man. And that's the thing, too. The Browns are doing the game plan. We're executing the game plan that the Panthers should have done with Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard. They ran the dang ball. They're running it with Quinshawn Judkins, and it was working for them. I think the Browns had 130 plus yards on the ground. And the 49ers were just able to adjust, luckily, in the second half of this ball game because they were running down our throats. And I mean, I guess luckily, thank you, Shedeur Sanders at the starting quarterback. If it was PJ Walker, it might be a different game, but they were running the ball down the 49ers' throat, averaging, it seemed like 5 yards, 7 yards per carry in this game. And luckily, the 49ers were able to make those adjustments. Robert Saleh, man, able to make those adjustments, and this defense able to execute these adjustments in this game. Clelin Ferrell had 9 tackles in this game. He was everywhere. Upton Stout had 7 tackles. He was looking really good. Mustafa had 7 tackles. He was hard hitting, had a couple hard hits in this game. And those are the 3 leading tackle leaders in this game. And man, this defense just continues to improve. And yeah, you could say the 49ers beat the Panthers, a team they probably should beat. They beat the Browns, a team they probably should beat. And they beat the Cardinals, a team they should probably beat, which I think out of those 3 teams, the Cardinals, I think maybe are the toughest because they were in our division. But you think, look back to the Panthers, that was probably the toughest team that this defense had to face, and they only allowed them 9 points. So I don't know what it's going to look like the rest of the season when we play better teams like the Colts and the Bears. That's going to be a big time matchup. But as of right now, we can just enjoy what this defense has done for the 49ers and appreciate what they've done, only allowing 8 points against this Browns team in Cleveland, a place they haven't won in 41 years, guys. Absolutely fantastic. Moving forward, I think before we get into more of the game, Kyle Shanahan at his post-game press conference, we get into some of the injury reports here, guys. Nick Martin obviously did not return in this game with a concussion. Ben Barch went out of the game. I don't know when he went out, but he came out with a foot injury. He did not return. I don't know the extent of it. And then Kyle Juszczyk also went out with a rib injury. He did not return. But as of right now, the recent reports, Shanahan said that there is no broken bones, no broken ribs for Kyle Juszczyk, which would be huge. Hopefully, they're just bruised. And it comes at a perfect time. The 49ers finally get their bye week. It's a later one. And I guess it's the latest the Niners have ever had, according to Shanahan. Week 14 bye. And I think it comes up at the perfect time. The 49ers injured all season long, and they're finally, slowly but surely, getting healthier and healthier and healthier. And now the 49ers on this 3-game win streak get to finally enjoy themselves a little bit. Brock Purdy coming back from his toe injury. He looked great. He looked mobile, and now he gets to rest it for 14 days until they get to play the Titans, which is essentially, you can never take any team light, but essentially they are a team the 49ers are going to be. Essentially, it's another bye week. So potentially the Niners get 2 bye weeks in a row, which would be huge. But the Niners, Brock Purdy gets to rest up. We could potentially be getting guys back later on in the season as well. So this bye week just is going to be huge, especially now Juice with his rib injury, Ben Barch's foot, and then Nick Martin with his concussion. So that's the big updates from Kyle Shanahan there. And Shanahan also in the press conference talked about Clelin Ferrell. The media asked about him. He said he's done a hell of a job for the 49ers, and we kind of dove into him a little bit. Two sacks for Clelin Ferrell in this game. 4 sacks. I think he's right behind Bryce Huff this season. He's been playing better than Bryce Huff the past couple games. I think he's the second in sack totals for the 49ers this year. I think Bryce Huff has 5. Now Ferrell has 4. And I think he has 3 in these last 2 games now. So he's just been looking great. Shanahan praised him for all of that. And just on the team as a whole, Shanahan said, I love where we're at right now, mentally and physically. And then talking about the bye week, mentally and physically, it'll be awesome to rest. It's been a grind, especially on the mental point of it that Shanahan brought up. These guys have gone through everything two of their greatest defensive players are out for the season. Brock Purdy was out for 6 games. Mac Jones goes in there and wins you 5 of them. And that takes a toll mentally on this team. The grit that they have to win, to be 9-4 right now with all these injuries, and to be in contention now for the NFC West. Now the 49ers so far, I think they're still seventh seed in the conference right now. To be 9-4 with all these injuries, to see these young guys on defense step up for the Niners, to see Mac Jones step up like that. I mean, this team believes in each other, and you could really see that. The camaraderie they have, the adversity they've had to face to be 9-4 right now, because they could have crumbled when Brock Purdy is out, when George Kittle was out for 5 games. The 49ers could have crumbled and say, hey, our season's over. But they didn't. They rallied around each other, and it helps a lot when you got Robert Saleh on your defense, and when you got Mac Jones, who is a certified number 1 backup quarterback. They pushed through the adversity, and now the 49ers are 9-4 with a healthy offense, the healthiest that you're going to have the whole season now. And hopefully the Niners can get Ricky Pearsall more involved. But now they can rest a little bit. 9-4, finally get a win streak, which they haven't had since the first 3 wins of the season. They were going back and forth. They had that pattern going, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. And then they finally know they could finally stack some wins. And I talked about with Richie Rich. I talked about with a couple guys on the past previous weeks with Nick. I said these games are the most important games, most important stretch for the 49ers in the season. When you're playing against the Panthers, the Browns, and then the Titans coming off the bye, those are 3 games you have to win, because the final 3 games of this season after the Titans game are 3 of the best teams in this league. You're playing the Colts on Monday Night Football. You're playing the Bears December 28th, which is going to be big for playoff complications right there, because they're 9-4 right now. They are the number 1 seed in the NFC. And in the final game of the season, and I said at the very beginning of this year, the Seahawks versus 49ers game, there's going to be some type of complication, whether it's that the 49ers, that's their game they have to win to make the playoffs, or it's going to be something for seeding. It's going to be a huge game for this team. It'd be nice if everything was wrapped up by then, but I have a bad and a good feeling that it's going to be a huge game for the Niners, and I'm excited because I get to go to that. I get to go to that one, and I think I'm going to the Bears game as well, Monday Night Football. So that's going to be a dogfight. So yeah, guys, that's what Shanahan had to say in his press conference. He also said the 49ers, like I said earlier, because I got this from Shanahan, they stopped the Niners defense, stopped the run better in the second half of this game, and it was obvious. And they only allowed 8 points in this game. And then he said, lastly, about the special teams. Our goal this week was to score on special teams, and they have been a weapon for this team. They have been a weapon for this team, and I really have a great feeling that the 49ers will score on special teams this season. Sky Moore is going to finally break one loose for a touchdown this year, and that was their goal this week on special teams, and they came close to it once again. And hopefully they get to that coming off the bye against the Titans or in the playoffs. I wouldn't mind that. Since we are on the subject of post-game press conferences, I want to play George Kittle here as well. Just talking about the 49ers adversity and what they've gone through, and just, how they are 9-4 this season. Let me pull it up here.
Tell us about the big man.
I think looking from the outside in, if people would have said, hey, you guys are going to be 9-4 going into the bye, and you're not going to have Fred Warner or Nick Bosa, and Kittle's going to miss the first 5 weeks, and Brock's going to miss 6-7 games, I think a lot of people would have laughed at everybody. And, kudos to our coaching staff, Coach Shanahan, Lynch for bringing in the right guys to fill in those spots, developing players, to take advantage of those situations. How about Cleveland Farrell, just coming back? It's fantastic. I think we're set up really well. It's these bye weeks, get tricky because I think guys have just been looking forward to it. And so, our message, I think Kyle say the message tomorrow is just like, hey, get away, do whatever you have to do. But just remember, when we come back, we have 4 incredibly difficult games that are going to hopefully set us up to do something fun, after the last game. I think looking from...
Yeah, Kittle said it perfectly. People would be laughing at the Niners right now a couple weeks ago, saying that they would be 9-4 with all these injuries, with George Kittle out, Purdy out, and all their defensive guys. And they are, these are the biggest last 4 games of the season, clearly. They're 9-4. The Niners are in a perfect position. I said they would be 11-6 at the end of this year. I think 11 games is going to get you in the playoffs. I think it's going to be tough to for 10 games to win because I mean the NFC is wide open for sure. But they're 9-4 right now, guys, and they've won the games they've needed to win. They won the games that they should win because of how good this offense is now with Brock Purdy back. His mobility, the way he's able to see the field process and everything like that, and his mobility obviously helps things out. His toe is going to be getting an extra 2 weeks off now. He got through these 3 games healthy. And yeah, it's going to be a good 4-game stretch. Offensive line on this note of Brock Purdy and his toe and everything. This O-line has been protecting Brock Purdy really well these past 3 weeks with the Panthers, and especially this week with Myles Garrett. I thought this was going to be terrifying. I thought Garrett was I thought he potentially was going to get the sack record this game. You know, he's at 19 now. He got only 1 sack on Brock Purdy, and it was a crazy move. I don't know if you guys saw it, but it was Myles Garrett being a freak of nature. The dude's like 350 pounds, it seems like, and he is just an absolute athlete. He jumped on the inside to get away from Trent Williams and make the sack. I think it was a 3rd down play. But to only allow Myles Garrett, the best D end in the league, to only get 1 sack in this game with our mediocre at best offensive line is huge, and you could see it. And it's not only the offensive line. If Mac Jones was back there, they probably would have had 3 sacks in this game relatively. Brock Purdy was able to be elusive in this game, and that's where his toe being healed helps the Niners so much. He looked great. He looked like he was vintage Brock Purdy. It doesn't look like that toe has been affecting him at all. I think the broadcast said that he's no longer wearing that steel toe plate in the bottom of his shoe anymore. And that just allows him to be really, have mobility again. And he was able to slide out of the pocket, evade some pressure, and make some plays out of the pocket and escape Myles Garrett, a terrifying man. So kudos to this offensive line for protecting Brock Purdy, for being better throughout this season when it's mattered most. They did allow, I think, 10 pressures in this game, so not fantastic. But when you only allow your quarterback to get sacked once against the best defensive end in this league, it's a win. It's a win for the 49ers, and they look great. Barch is out again, too. I know. What was it? He lasted 2 games. He lasted 2 games healthy this season so far, coming back from his injury, and now he's hurt again. But it's unfortunate. Hopefully he's back. Now he gets the bye week for 2 weeks, for 1 week technically. But Spencer Burford looked good, and I didn't realize that Burford actually played on the interior offensive line before, because I think it was the Browns game too. I was looking back at some footage from 2023, and I think I saw Burford playing at right guard 2023, which was interesting. I thought he was I didn't know that he had experience in the interior offensive line, but I guess that's probably why he's been playing so good at the left guard next to Trent Williams, guys. So that's just an interesting note I saw. A couple more stats here I could get to. George Kittle, like I said, 4 receptions, 67 yards. Christian McCaffrey, once again, had he was an impact player. He scored. Did he score a touchdown? He didn't score a touchdown in this game. He had 53 yards rushing. He wasn't that great, actually. From what I remember, he was like, all right, 20 attempts, 2.7 yards per carry. So that's the one thing. It's back and forth again with these numbers with Christian McCaffrey with the run game. It's like sometimes they do really good. And it just seems like every time the 49ers run the ball, it's a grind to get yards. And it's been like that this entire season. And yeah, this Browns defense is number 2. I think they're almost number 1 in this league in defense total. So it makes sense when they stuff Christian McCaffrey a little bit, but that's okay when you got guys like George Kittle, when you got guys like Juwan Jennings, who I feel like has been the healthiest has been all season long. He's looked like vintage Juwan Jennings, which has been great. He scored a touchdown. He had a couple 3rd down conversions for the Niners. And that was one thing I noted too. I put on my Twitter. It was one of the drives. The 49ers had, I think they had 3 third downs in that one drive, and they were 3 for 3. They were fantastic on 3rd down in this game. It's something that I feel like the Niners have struggled with a little bit, but they have looked great in this game. I don't know how many 3rd downs they had in this game, but it seemed like almost every single time they had a 3rd down, they converted it, which is something huge going into this bye, and something that I really hope they are able to stack upon, especially facing better teams, and to do it against the Browns. Browns defense was great. Matt Gay as well. 2 for 2 on field goals, 2 for 2 on extra points. He's been doing well. He's been stepping up for ADP. Hopefully we get him back after the bye. But that doink was scary because that was a hard doink on the left upright. I didn't think it was going in. Luckily it did going into the half, and that really helped the Niners momentum going into the second half of this game. We already went through the 49ers defensive stats. And then just a couple notes for the total offense. They had 19 first downs, and like I said, only 1 sack allowed from this offensive line. So kudos to this offensive line. It was great to watch today. He was trading with Feliciano. Oh, that's right. John Feliciano, 2023. He was so good. I wish the Niners would have him now because they called him up. He said if they called him up, he'd be ready to go. I love Feliciano on the Niners. He was great. Okay. 49ers schedule so far. So yeah, that kind of goes back to what Kittle was saying in that press conference. I think I wanted to get to that. Just thinking where the Niners would be right now. So injured in this season. And let me just pull up the 49ers schedule. Let me just pull up the NFL standings right now, because at the beginning of the season, the 49ers had the easiest schedule in the NFL, right? It is not shaped like that whatsoever. See, make sure you guys can see that there. Okay, let's flip my face in there a little bit. Boom. Let me make this big for you guys. Okay, so let's see the teams we faced. Let's go to the NFC. If it'll let me go to the NFC. There we go. The 49ers face the Rams. Obviously, they're going to be tough. They're 9-3, right? Seahawks, 9-3. Who else do we face? The Buccaneers, 7-5. Lost to them. The Bears, 9-3. We're facing them pretty soon. Who else? The Panthers, 7-6. They're over 500 team. We beat them. These are teams that are over 500, teams that have been really good this season. Let's see. What other teams did we face this year that are really good? The Jaguars, 8-4. We lost to them. They're 4 games, number 1 in their division right now in the AFC South. They're a good ball team. The Browns, 3-9. But just kind of seeing some of those guys, the 49ers have not had an easy schedule. Oh, who are we facing next? The Colts, 8-4. They turn things around. They're a good team. And this 49ers team is 9-4 right now. And like I said, the Bears, we're going to be seeing them. This is not an easy schedule for the 49ers. And they have been able to string these wins together this season and somehow be in the hunt for the playoffs. And it is just huge. It's something that is kind of bizarre to me to say, oh, the Niners could potentially eke out 11 wins this season because it's an easy schedule. They've had to grind out for the wins this season because it has not been an easy schedule. It has been a lot harder than what we expected it to be at the beginning of the season. So it's just really interesting to see that, and great to see that the 49ers, and that is kind of, I'm not going to get into it this episode. That's kind of why it would be my argument to say Kyle Shanahan could be up there for coach of the year. I don't think he'll probably get it because of what Ben Johnson has been able to do and the coach for the Colts, because they've been so good this year. But just, I mean, the 49ers are 9-4 with a hard schedule, not a last place schedule whatsoever. And it's fantastic. And showing the playoff schedule, I don't know if we could show the playoff. Let's see. NFL playoff schedule. Let's see where we're at now, because that's kind of huge. That's what I wanted to get into here. NFL playoff picture. We had some big games today, guys, big upsets, and I brought it up earlier, and I'm sure you guys saw it, but it was the Rams game. The Rams dropped to the Panthers 31-28. So now the Rams dropped down to the 2nd seed in the playoffs. Yeah, you guys can see that. The Bears move up 2 spots to the number 1 seed. They're first in the NFC North right now. Eagles dropped down a little bit. Cowboys won on Thanksgiving. They're a team that you could potentially look out for. The Seahawks, I think, they won today, unfortunately. Man, that was a bloodbath. I don't even know who that quarterback was, but he threw like 5 interceptions, it seemed like. Packers 8-3, Seahawks 9-3. But what I'm saying, Niners are 9-4, Seahawks 9-3, and now the Eagles dropped down to the Rams dropped down to 9-3. The Niners, not even just playoff contenders, they're NFC West contenders to win the West now. If we could get another Rams loss, another Seahawks loss, the 49ers are right there. And the 49ers right now are, what are we, 4-2? No, we haven't played all. We're 4-1 right now. 4-1 in our division. The 49ers could easily win the division. I wouldn't be shocked if somehow it happened. But look at this, man. The Cowboys 6-5-1. Oh, that's another team we played. The Texans 7-5. They started their win streak with us. They're a good team. They're another team where I thought we would have mollywopped. But no, that D'Amico Ryan's defense is fantastic. Rich, our schedule has been harder than originally thought. Yeah. And what did I say, Rich? Even with CJ Stroud in there, that defense was going to get it done. I'm surprised that Daniel Jones didn't get his leg torn off him because he's playing with a fractured fibula. But I had a feeling that they were going to beat Indianapolis, and they did. That was my bold prediction for this week. But that's huge. Look at this, guys. Playoff probability now that we beat the Browns, 92%. Seahawks, 93%. And Rams 96%. So we're right there, man. We have to win 2 more games, and I think we're in the playoffs. And potentially, if we win 3 or win out, we could win the division. That would be huge. That would be really huge, guys. Heading into the bye, let's see what we got. Heading into the bye, the 49ers potentially could get Tatum Bethune back, Yetur Gross-Matos, and Eddie P back. Those are big guys. Now they have 2 weeks to rest, and hopefully that can happen for the Niners. We'll see. I think Bethune is dealing with a high ankle sprain, Yetur Gross-Matos with a hammy, I believe, and Eddie P with a hammy. So getting those guys back, getting this defense a little bit more healed, which would be huge. But yeah, guys, heading into the bye, we're playing the Titans. Niners are 9-4 right now. It was a good win. It was relaxing. They broke the curse of losing 41 years in Cleveland. Yeah. Good win for the 49ers. And this one thing I want to bring up because I've been watching with my dad. This is going to be we're going to end the episode here in a couple seconds. But if you guys have not watched it yet, and I know this is about the Dallas Cowboys, but on Netflix, it came out in August. I recommend watching America's Team, The Gambler and His Cowboys. I've been watching with my dad. We're on like the 4th episode now, and it is really interesting to see just how Jerry Jones came up. And it shows, I have a newfound respect for Jerry Jones a little bit, just to see he's a hard worker, man. He came from, he was a businessman. He was selling turkey, he was selling shoes back in the day, poultry, and his dream was always to own a football team. It's been really interesting so far, but it's good too because they show the Niners getting the last laugh in the 1994 playoffs, when the Niners went to the Super Bowl. They showed the other 2 heartbreaking losses, 92 and 93 in the playoffs, but the Niners got the win in 94. And Steve Young is in the show. Jerry Rice is in the show. Carmen Policy's in the show. It's really good. The production is really good. So it is the Cowboys, guys, but I do recommend watching it, especially if you're an NFL history nerd and just like to know NFL history and, the background of these teams. And Cowboys, they're one of the most successful franchises, not even in the NFL, but in sports-wise total in the world. So I do recommend watching it. It is the Cowboys, but they do show the Niners winning. Steve Young's in there, and it is fantastic so far. So that's about to do it, guys. Tomorrow night, Monday night at 7 p.m. I believe 7 p.m. It's going to be a special episode. Make sure to tune in. I'm going to be joined by the Faithful Den. If you haven't seen his Instagram, make sure to go follow him on Instagram. He's fantastic. He has his own garage, just filled with 49er stuff. His own bar, basically. It's really sick. And I'm going to be talking about the game a little bit tomorrow with him and just asking him, interviewing him about his den, where his idea from it came from, and just where he got all his stuff, and just looks really cool, guys. So make sure to stick around for that tomorrow. Check your YouTube for it. Check Instagram right here as well. I'm going to be doing that with him tomorrow, guys. 9-4, guys. Enjoy it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. The Niners are in this thing. They're in it for the NFC West, guys, and it was fantastic. I'll talk to you guys later. Make sure to subscribe 49ers, First and 49ers on Instagram, X, YouTube. I'm on the road to 500 subscribers here. Instagram, 10,000. Hopefully by the end of the season. It's going to be tough, but I think we could do it. But yeah, guys, fantastic win. That's going to do it for me. See you guys tomorrow night. Go Niners. Stay faithful, baby.
Touchdown! San Francisco!